1 second, folks. Technical difficulties. There we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and obviously we're going back to the JRC, but first, the disclaimers and the trigger warnings. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, pertinent links are all right there in the description box, so should you want to deep dive into the subject, you'll definitely be able to do so. Trigger warning, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. First off, yes, I do use profanity, and we do speak on dark subjects. So, when we speak about places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you have a child that is 16 and younger and they are watching this channel, parental supervision is advised. So, we are back once again to the public comments in regards to the new proposed ban on the GED device that was made out on 2023, back in the year 2023, excuse me. So, let's go back to where we left off the other day. We're going to be taking a look at this comment here. Now, once again, as you all can see, this is another template. More than likely, they used it either from ARC or from the Autism Self-Advocacy Network. They're very useful, folks, believe me. But since we've all slept since yesterday, we're going to go ahead and read it real quick anyways. I support a ban on electrical stimulation devices intended for self-injurious behavior or aggressive behavior. For decades, people with intellectual and developmental disabilities have been tortured by these devices at the Judge Rotenberg Center. It's the only place in the country that still uses this barbaric and inhumane practice, despite substantial evidence that shocks are painful and traumatizing to residents. Alternative positive behavioral supports exist and are proven to be more effective. Please support this ban. So you may see a lot of that because, again, ARC and ASAN really like to use templates because it makes it easier for individuals who aren't the best in the world at typing to still be able to use those templates and get their comments heard. They even have phone scripts available for people who are not used to calling their representatives. If you want to go on to either one of those websites, they will definitely have stuff that can help you out. But let me go back here. We're going to get to the next comment right after that one. All right, this is a very short one. It says, ESDs intended for self-injurious behavior or aggressive behavior are dangerous and uncivilized. The proposed rule in Document 89 FR 20882 is a good idea. Agreed. And once again, folks, we got more upset over less. Okay? We give our prisoners of war better treatment than our disabled people. You can sit there and tell me that's not true, that's extremist all you want. But then once you do, I am then going to pull up the Andre McCollins video and force you to watch it. And then we'll come back to the conversation. Anyways, let's get to the next comment real quick, folks. All right, here we go. This one says, my sister's autistic. I want the FDA to pass a rule banning the use of electric shock devices for behavior modification. The electric shock device is inhumane. No one should get treated that way. The United Nations said the electric shock device was torture. Please pass this ban. And again, I would like to reiterate that using fear as a supposed tool in medicine to get the type of behavior modification that you want is going to fail. Because again, you're helping me build a mask. And one can only hold up a mask for so long. And then it drops. And because nothing new was actually really learned, and I've gone back to my default setting, that means all my default not so fun parts of my diagnosis come out to haunt me and everyone around me. So, fear is not something that should be utilized in medicine. Point blank, bye bye, period, see you later. It is not a legitimate tool to use in order to get the behavior modification that you want. Because the type of behavior modification that a lot of these folks want, although they don't realize it, if you want to know why, as we go into the details of it, why it sounds so creepy, because it's not really all that dissimilar to the concept of brainwashing. That's why. The problem is you're dealing with autistics and other fellow neurodivergents. Although brainwashing can be done, it's extremely difficult to do so. So, you see where we're going there. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at another comment here. Alright, see what this one has to say. This one's very simple. Just, this is a wonderful rule, and I wholeheartedly agree with the ban. Thank you. Short, simple, and sweet. I like it. Okay, I think we've seen a previous comment from this one, but we'll find out here in just a moment. Okay, this one states, I support a ban on electrical stimulation devices because intended for self-injurious behavior or aggressive behavior. So again, this is another one used from the same template that we've been seeing throughout the public comments while we've been covering this here. So we're going to go back here and move on to the next one. I mean, it's a great tool for those templates, but when you're reading and doing videos like this, you know. Alright. So, let's read this one. The use of electric shock devices are described as torturous. If electric shock devices are illegal to use on adults during criminal or terrorist investigations, they should not be performed on children who are mentally disabled. Can we say kids who are developmentally disabled, people with mental health issues, and different disabilities, please? Let's not pigeonhole this here. Because although one of the most horrendous and well-known cases of mistreatment of disabled people and severe medical misconduct, they're not alone. If you don't believe me, look up the troubled teen industry and find yourself some testimonies from some of the survivors. It's all the same handbook, folks. All the same handbook. Let's not pigeonhole it by saying those mentally disabled. It's a double-edged sword because yes, you may say, hey, these people are being horrible to people with mental health issues, right? But also by using their terminology, that is a reaffirmation of it. Intellectual disabilities, developmental disabilities, folks with mental health issues, disabled people. Wording matters. Yes, even in regards to people who are on our side. I'm not trying to be a see you next Tuesday. But when it comes to politics, especially disability rights politics, we have to be this picky about the words. Because if we're not, the opposing side will be. And they will use it to fuck us over. If you don't believe me, look and find out why that original 2020 ban was overturned. Let me continue on with that one. The children who have been shocked reported burn marks and muscle cramps that can last for days after being shocked, along with long-term psychological effects like depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, and overall fear of authority. We can actually confirm this because there are some individuals who are brave enough to set aside their HIPAA rights to show their behavior contracts with the JRC and what it felt like afterwards when they received counseling and began to get in therapy to recover from the horrors that they lived in. And the ones who were willing to bring that up and show them, and some even had their doctors go up there. Do you know the type of bravery it takes facing people as sadistic as the JRC and being willing to waive your HIPAA rights just so you can bring those evil bastards down? Yeah. These forms of punishment are archaic and need to be put to rest. Very well said. Very well said. Alright, we're going to go through one more and then we're going to go ahead and close out for this particular video here. Alright, here we go. And this one from Karen Gear, as you can see, once again was being used from the same template. But since I'm bringing it up again, please go to those websites. Utilize the templates, especially the ones that they've got built up for Social Security, Medicaid, SNAP, and Section 8. Because we need all the help on planet Earth we can possibly get right now. Yes, I know it passed. But that doesn't mean that these people deserve a free pass now that it's passed and are not going to be called out on it. Call them out everywhere, all the time, out in public, online. If there's a comment of something they did in the news, do it. Let these people know that you know what they just did. And not just that, but because of that, there are consequences to actions that Republicans will likely see, hopefully, if there's even a smidgen left of the sane world, where their comeuppance will be found. We're going to go ahead and close out on that one, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and please don't forget to hit the comments. Double check and make sure you are still set up for our notifications as well. We still have several series we are continuing, as well as some new ones coming up this Sunday. I do appreciate your time, and as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see y'all here in a little bit. Bye-bye, everyone.